NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barry. Hey, what's up, everybody? We'll go halvesies here. Welcome to the show, NHL Nightly. I'm your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, Rico. What's up?
Hey,
no
buddy.
Pearlo, but we'll see. He's probably on his way. I anticipate. You want to talk about any of the early games? Looks like Florida's back. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Shout out. You get the shout out. You get free advertising, Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights on the podcast. If you didn't know that. Bruins beat the Hurricanes. My main man off the wall hockey was calling that game on YouTube. Really good. John Duncan, check it out if you ever get a chance. He's a really good play-by-play guy. Usually only does East Coast games, but from time to time you'll catch him on the weekend. Anyway, he did that game. It was a pretty nice ass whooping by the Bruins with all that time off. What'd you think?
Yeah, no, that's like I said on the show last night, take Boston first period puck line. They came out strong. I know Carolina's played a lot of hockey lately. They've been off for the last few days, but yeah, they're hot, man.
Yeah, a little I'm doing the 4-0-0. Brad Marchand scored his 400th career goal in that game, first goal of this game, which would have hit your pick. Pretty impressive, man. Guys going to Hall of Fame, man. He's just the type of player I'd want on my team. The type of player I need on my team. Because Brad Marchand, even though he's a winger, he's been known to win a faceoff or two. He's just a gritty guy. I've always been a big fan of him. Him and Pasternak get on the board, so that was a good one. And we get Pearlo here. Hey, Pearlo, looking good as always. And then how about Danton Heinen? Like, he's potted 16 for the Bruins this year. That's pretty good out of a fourth line guy, man. You're getting and then I told John Duncan off the wall, I bought him that Hampus Lindholm jersey. Lindholm gets that emblazing empty netter to kind of ice the game there. Hey, I thought Dawson dominated most of the game, didn't you?
Yeah, dude, if Boston ends up playing Tampa in the first round, like, isn't that going to be a sick series, man? Holy.
Yeah,
it's like
that's probably what you want because those teams have played a lot together, and I think that would probably benefit, people that don't want to see the Tampa Bay Lightning advance because they look real good.
They seem like they can just turn a switch on right now. They can just turn it on when they have to, when they're playing the Leafs or, just coming out against Montreal. Okay, we'll let in a couple to our backup goalie. Let's play run and gun. We'll win this game tonight playing like that. I mean, best power play in the NHL. Like, oh my God, you do not want to take penalties against them in the playoffs or the game could be over in a real, real hurry, man. They're just lethal. I don't know how they're doing it without that depth on D, but man, they got just the guys, man, that are there. I mean, the top end guys are producing.
By the way, I think a 4-point night for Kucherov.
Yeah, see, the top guys produce every single night there. You can chalk up Point and Kucherov every single night for multiple points, and you're going to come out making money all year long. Like, they don't take any nights off, those guys.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's laughable, man. And now Vasilevsky looks like he's got his shit together. Like, he came off that back surgery. He missed the first 6 weeks. Remember, we all thought, Pearlo picked Tampa to miss the playoffs. Don't start, please. Don't start. If you fucking start, I won't be able to stop. Just act like it's not. It's over. It's fucking over. The show, please, my only fucking show. You started, man. I was trying to ignore it, and I was doing a good job, and then you fucking started.
Oh yeah, get her together.
I can't do it. I'm so fucking high right now. There's no way, even if I wanted to, I couldn't come down. There's no way. There's no fucking way, man. It snowed like, yeah, I was like, I'm eating a fucking gummy. Oh my God, dude.
Back on the rails.
Oh. Pearlo the whole time is like a fucking statue. Like his screen is.
Because I don't really understand why you think it's so funny. It's okay. But
Pearlo. It does. I'm telling you, it didn't matter. I was doing fine ignoring it. Rico fucking laughing put me over the top. I go. I'm not going to blame Rico, but I'm totally going to blame Rico on this one.
All right. Okay, joke's over.
Okay, yes. I was looking at the box score. Yeah, they said Kucherov had a 3-point night.
Yeah.
But I thought he had 3 assists there. I'm not sure. Anyway, 3-point night. Yeah. So is he back on top of the Art Ross trophy?
Dude, just give it to all three. Give it to McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov. Let them share the fucking thing, man. Because there's not one any less deserving than the other. I mean, you can make a case for either of them, and it's changing by the day. But there's problem with these guys is they're not going in any type of funks. Like they're not going games where they're not coming in and just taking the team on their back and putting points on the score sheet every single night. You look at their games. McDavid's always there. McKinnon with his home scoring streak this year. Man, McDavid 100 assists. I mean, Kucherov with his points. If he wasn't in Tampa, he's getting almost half of their goals. Or he's in on like pretty much half of Tampa's points all year long. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to pick one, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know right now, if I'm an Eastern Conference team, I don't want to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I don't think we were saying that earlier in the year. We thought, and then when Sergachev went down, dude, I thought, well, there they go. Now they're not going to make it. But they have done just, and then I think the adding of Dumba and Duclair has just made them such a better, they just got depth and they feel like they're able to get, I know on Pearlo's all-world team, Dumba's on there, but like they don't need him to be a top-line guy. They need him to be a bottom six guy, so he fits in perfect there.
Yeah.
So,
and until you win a cup, you're not the Tampa Bays, you're not the Vegases. Like those guys have rings in their room, and that matters. Until you become the St. Louis Blues, and until you become a Capital, until you become an Avalanche, like all those guys on those teams now have cups, so they got playoff experience. But Tampa's got a lot of cups in that room. So if you're gonna play them in the playoffs, man, they're well coached. Their top end guys are bringing it. They got one of the best goalies in the world, and adding Dumba and Duclair, like you said.
Sorry to interrupt you. Nashville just scored to make it 4-1. I think this is nail in the coffin for the St. Louis Blues.
Wow. St. Louis wasn't playing bad either in this game.
That was close. Once it got to 3-1, though, you kind of thought,
Saros was playing amazing.
Yeah, he is. I've liked the Blues game, too. They haven't even played bad in this game. It's just they've capitalized on everything. So, okay, finish your thought here, and we'll get on to the Blue Jackets Islanders game.
Yeah, no, I'm done talking about Tampa, man. I take a flyer on them to even win the cup, throw a few bucks on them because they're probably going to be middle of the pack as far as favorites going into playoffs. I don't know how you make them favorites over Florida and Carolina and Boston, and even maybe beat Toronto.
I mean, they play Florida tough, man. Florida has a real hard time with Tampa Bay. So I think if you're Florida, you want to see them lose in the first round. And I unfortunately think Florida matches up pretty good against the Leafs, but I think the Leafs showed they can play against them. And so, they're going to have to win a game in Florida. Did you guys peek in on that Blue Jackets Islanders game? That was a tight game for a good portion of the game. I know we were all on the Blue Jackets,
I wasn't tight enough. I took the Blue Jackets plus 1.5. But
Well, it was a good play, Pearlo, because the Islanders just still, even in victory, haven't looked good. This was the biggest win of the season for them. They are now in the file in the wild card spot. They move up above the Caps. Caps have a game in hand on them. Caps don't have an easy schedule. Pittsburgh has an even more difficult schedule than the Capitals do. And they're both 2-2 against each other. We could jump into that game, but real quick, Penguins. We can jump into Penguins Capitals if you want to. I actually thought the Capitals played a good game. They couldn't get a save when they needed a save. It was just absolutely garbage.
Yeah, well, we had the Penguins last night, and I took the Penguins, so I got that one there. But yeah, it wasn't the prettiest win for the Penguins, but they pulled it out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the empty netter that kind of iced it there. I just thought the puck didn't bounce the Caps' way. I expected Pittsburgh to win this game. They have all this momentum coming in. So
and Pittsburgh did it without Crosby and Malkin getting points all night either. Like it was.
Yeah, it was their. I mean, the Michael Bunting goal, you got to have it. Like Charlie Lindgren just been not good. If he makes the first one, I don't put on him. It was deflected goals. This kid's first career goal. So.
Yeah, you could tell Pittsburgh was getting a little bit tired in the third period, and yeah, that second goal by Bunting, that one definitely stung because it felt like Washington was starting to get momentum back in that game towards the end of it, and Pittsburgh was looking a little slow and tired. Playing 3 games in 4 nights, it's just coming out in the first and getting that quick goal to start the game kind of was awful to see if you're on Washington's side, but I mean I didn't even bet on that game. I played mostly props tonight. I kind of looked at the games and I just thought, I'm like, man, I like way too many dogs here. So I don't know if they're going to come in. So I just played a bunch of props and thank God there was a lot of scoring.
Blues just scored. Neighbors, I think, 6-2.
Oh, goal prop by Neighbors.
4-2. I think it's Neighbors. 63. That's Neighbors, correct?
Give me a Neighbors goal prop. Top line, right wing. Yeah, Jake Neighbors, beautiful. Number 27 on the year for Jake.
Dude,
Neighbors.
Yeah, what a great year he's having. Is this a rookie year for him?
He's 22. So I know he played last year, I think. I don't know if he's rookie. No, he's not rookie status, or they'd be talking about him for rookie of the year. His name has not come up at all in the rookie of the year conversation. So yeah, I know he played last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad for a 22-year-old, though. Probably maybe get to 30.
I know we glossed over the Panthers Senators, and we really didn't talk about being the Kachuk matchup. The Panthers beat the living piss out of the Senators and put an end to that winning streak. They had the most wins. We were calling this an upset because plus money. I thought Ottawa could win this game as well as they've been playing, and Florida just hasn't looked great. And then you got the news today about Ekblad being out. They know what it is. They know what the timetable is.
That was just shit goaltending there, though. The Senators played well, but Korpisalo was ass. That's really what that was about. It was terrible.
Yeah, I had the game on, but like every time I looked up, the score changed. So I was like, it was insane.
It wasn't even bad defense by the Senators or anything. That was just straight up Korpisalo was shit.
I missed that. What's the news on Ekblad?
He's out.
He's out. He's injured.
An injury, and that guy's had a lot of injury problems. By the way, the Flames are playing the peg tough tonight too, man. In the peg, 3-2. So that's
like Ekblad's out, like including playoffs type things, or they don't know that far.
No, I think he'll be back in time for the playoffs, is what it sounded like.
Okay,
but I think it would be shocking if they lost Verhaeghe too. But boy, they sure did good tonight, though. I mean, they got goals from Nick Cousins, Dmitry Kulikov, Anton Lundell, Sam Bennett. He hadn't been on the score, and then of course Reinhart and Kachuk finished it off. But so yeah, Blues ain't dead yet. There's a 12 and a half minutes left to go in the third. Lots of time. I can't get the Colorado game to pull up, guys. I don't know what's going on with my feed. I'm gonna
Actually, if you give me a second, I got to turn my TV on. I'm not even watching the games right now.
Yeah, the live games. So we talked about the games that were over, the live games that are still going. Blues, Preds, which I've updated you a couple times. Flames, Jets, and then Kings, Sharks haven't even dropped, and then Avalanche, Wild, which I was wanting to watch that one. Here we'll go Wild broadcast because I was not getting the altitude guys to pull up here. Let me drop Pearlo out. Yeah, so 3-2 Avs. I know Avs are playing, but it looks like they're playing them tough. I think twice the Wild have gotten back into it, but they were down 3-1. I think I have the score correct in the banner there. I think I do. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and I don't have the Blues score correct because they just scored. Perlo, you can bring yourself back in.
Yeah, I got the Wild to win this game, so.
Oh yeah, well it's a tight game. Yeah, Colorado on the road. Is this one of their last home games too?
Colorado's not very good on the road, and the Wild, this is they're playing for their playoff lives here. So
yeah,
I thought maybe they might be able to pull this one out.
All right, so yep, Jets Flames. That's a good game. 15:08 left. Flames are losing by a goal, but Jets need this win, man. They've had I know they finally won one, but they gotta.
No, Colorado.
Oh, I think the Avs just scored again. It's 4-2. Nathan McKinnon, maybe.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yes, Nathan McKinnon has just scored to make it 4-2 Avalanche.
Out.
Oh, it's getting chippy in the Nashville game. Real chippy. They just put a couple guys in for coincidental minors. Robert Thomas for slashing. And Jeremy Lozon for roughing. Par for the course. 48th goal for Nathan McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon's going to have 50 goals this year and 80 assists. Ridiculous, man. I think this is Nate Dogg's year, man. I think Colorado figures it out in the playoffs. I'm a little worried about him, though. So, speaking of that, I had a stat I wanted to share with you guys, and this comes courtesy of Justin Bourne from Real Kipper and Bourne. I promised I DM'd him, and I said, hey, I'm going to use this stat you said. It's a really good one. Edmonton teams versus winning records. Edmonton versus the top 5, they're 4-6-1. Versus the 6-10, they're 3-3-2. The rest 7-6-1, and then they obviously they feast on the shittier teams. If I'm Edmonton, man, Vegas is clicking. I think the coach is a million times better than the coach they have there. I think this guy hit lightning with a bottle. I think he knew how to coach McDavid, and I think they've been a little bit of fugazis, and now they don't look good. They're not. I mean, Dallas worked them. Dallas was like, oh, you want to play this way? And then it was like, oh, they hit 3 posts. Okay, yeah, but Dallas didn't give them much either. They didn't get rebounds. They didn't control the puck. If you can keep Edmonton from out controlling the puck, you're probably going to win a game if you can put pressure on their defense and their goaltending. And so, I mean, is there a forward besides McDavid that scares you? I don't know, man. I think Edmonton is prime for bear to lose in the first round to the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm calling it now. I think they're going to lose that series. And I think that could be the beginning of the end of Connor McDavid in Edmonton.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I do think they'll lose that series, yeah.
If they get bounced, they're already going to have a hard time bringing Draisaitl back because he's probably going to be 11 or 12 million a year. And I mean, he's easily going to be 12 million a year, probably, right? So, like, they don't have the money. I think they have to get out of that. But I think if they lose, they're going to be that's the way they're going to be able to say, yeah, we got to trade Draisaitl. We got to change up the
only way they're winning that series if they play the fluid 1-3-1 that they played earlier in the season. That's the only way.
Well, and I think it's still going to be really tough, Pearlo, with just how good Vegas is defensively.
If they play the fluid 1-3-1, they'll win it. I just don't believe they will.
Okay.
I believe this team is freaking bullheaded. I'm sorry. I think this is a bullheaded team. Every single coach has tried to institute that, and they haven't bought in. And until they buy in, they aren't winning shit. They ain't winning shit. So either you buy in or you lose, and that's it.
Well, and I still like
so
if they play
you can
Dallas
fire every coach all you want. It doesn't matter. You got to if you're going to play a man-on-man with this lineup, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. I don't care about McDavid, Draisaitl, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you're not winning shit. The only team in this league that can win a man-on-man system that they're playing is Carolina, and they might just do it. That's the only team. Only team. And it ain't Edmonton. So
they have their much better defensive team. All their forwards are really defensively responsible and shit too.
Well, it's not just about that. It's about the fact that they are machines. Brind'Amour, you have to be a machine to play that type. You have to be totally bought in from top to bottom. You got to be working out every freaking day. You're not going out and banging any chicks. You're not going out in Vegas and playing poker. Brind'Amour demands.
I think that's most of the NHL though. No, Pearlo.
Everybody talks about Tortorella being a guy that is trying to push everybody. Nobody pushes his players more than Brind'Amour. Nobody. Not Tortorella. Nobody. That guy. He's got that team being a type of fitness that there's nobody in the league that's even close. Not even
probably
close.
Not a good night to be singing their praises too much though, because they just got pumped by Boston at home.
Yeah, whatever. They got pumped by Boston. You know why? Because they went on a huge run where they basically beat the shit out of everybody in spots where they had no.
They had like 4 or 5 days off, Pearlo, before this game.
Yeah, but that was the problem. They had to get back to where they were before.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a letdown.
Too much time off for that team because
I'll tell you what, if the Edmonton Oilers would have played that schedule that Carolina did, they would have lost. They would have lost probably. They would have won maybe one game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Carolina, if they were in the Western Conference, would be in the Western Conference Finals. I'm not fucking.
Sure. If Carolina was in the Western Finals, they would beat the shit out of everybody. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think they would
maybe
be in the
Vegas.
finals.
Maybe Vegas might be a difficult spot, but
well, yeah. But like I said,
anyways, we both agree. We're disagreeing and we're agreeing at the same time.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm trying to move on. The next thing is what I'm trying to do.
Okay,
I'm just trying to move on to the next thing.
Edmonton ain't winning shit this year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's a big problem, man, if they don't do something significant, though. If they lose in the first round, and I'm not saying it's on the coach. Like, I think the guy's done an admirable job. I just don't think they're that good a team. They had one of the worst records in all of hockey. Winnipeg just scored again to go up 4-2. I think that's a Gabe Vilardi goal. 13? Is that Vilardi?
No, that's
Vilardi.
Oh, is it? I thought that was Nemestikov. Oh, it is Vilardi, yeah.
Yeah. Gabe Vilardi.
Second of the night.
Jets 4-2. All right, Jets, man. Good to see. I mean, Pearlo said he wouldn't bet on if it was life dependent on it, he wouldn't do anything with the Flames. But Gabe Vilardi got that in, man. Number 13.
I was all over the Jets.
Like I said the other day on our show, man, Winnipeg missed Vilardi when he was out, man. He was getting top line minutes on that team. Like that was a huge loss. He was hurt for a while, and Winnipeg just couldn't find their offense with him.
Well, and I think too, like we talked about this yesterday too, Rico. Connor has not been the same since his injury. He just does not look like the guy at the beginning of the year that was just potting everything. He was going to be a 55, 60 goal scorer this year, the pace he was on. And then he gets fucking hurt, and now he just hasn't – it doesn't feel like he's – hopefully by the time the playoffs roll around, he's found his stride again. All right, whoa. I wanted to say this. I wanted to shout out Chris Johnson. Finally, somebody wrote about Ovechkin's stick and the legitimacy of a guy having to find a new stick to shoot with. And, oh, by the way, since the 19th of January, Ovechkin, the only guy to score tonight, by the way, for the Capitals, 849 career goals. Not a big deal. The Chicklets talked a little bit about it again, and Biz highlighted it in the podcast. And now Chris Johnson has written an article. He talked a lot about the trip to Dubai, but I also think too, like not having his family there too. Like, I just think, you know, if Ovi just left his family over here full time, I think it would be better for him. So there's plenty of Russians in this country too. So it's not like he wouldn't have people to hang out with. So, shit, half his damn team is Russian still. Anyway, I'm really glad to see the Jets get back on. Hopefully they start clicking, because we were talking Jets legit Stanley Cup playoff earlier this year, and all they've done is add Monahan and Toffoli. So, like, I don't know how you don't like the Jets if they're clicking, but this is good. I'm fucking 41 shots. I'm fucking glad to see the Jets are back. You know, I know the Flames aren't a big deal, but that's an awesome thing. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Pearlo. Give me one quick sec.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I know they're back, but I mean, they have come back a little bit for sure. I said from the beginning of the year that they were going to have problems with their defense because they have no replacement players for them. And they were probably
you don't like their defensive depth, and they didn't really add that. I think it was tough to add defense this year at the trade deadline. But
they're putting a lot of pressure on that top four, and they faded down the stretch and stuff like that. And yeah, you know, I don't want to go any more about the fact that what I said about Calgary, so I'll just get off of that. I just don't think it's that big of a deal that you beat Calgary and then need to do more.
No, Perlo, I think what you're saying there's some legitimacy to it. Let's see him string a couple more wins in a row. I totally agree with you. By the way, real quick before Rico goes, we have 3 games that are live. All of them are 4-2. The Wild are losing 4-2 to the Avalanche. The Blues are losing 4-2 to the Predators, and the Flames are all the road teams are losing except for the Avalanche. They're a road team, and that was the game we thought they could lose.
Yeah, so, all the teams that I bet are losing.
Yeah, we were on the. Hey man, me too. I'm taking it up. I would have been killed.
I'm getting killed today, for sure.
Yeah, I'm.
Good thing I had some totals that banged in. Good thing I hit I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm seeing basketball like freaking crazy. I'm hitting basketball. I went 4-0 tonight on basketball.
Nice.
Much easier to cap. Basketball is so easy.
So Kucherov back on top, by the way, with points, 130. This is a no basketball zone here, Perlo. We don't talk ball.
Well, I'm just saying that.
No, like, that's awesome. You're killing it on basketball. Super happy for you.
Us in hockey, you're doing really well because this is a way harder sport than any other sport out there.
What, hockey?
Oh yeah, way harder.
Yeah, I think it's the hardest sport to bet on for sure.
For sure,
but that's what makes it cool.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. If you're doing well at hockey, you're a damn good capper because you got parity. You have to look at a lot more angles than you do in any other sport. But we don't want to talk about any other sport. But it's a tough sport to cap for sure.
No, I love it, man. Okay, Rico, give us your thoughts on the Jets, and then we'll move on.
No, I think Hellebuck's been playing well. Good pickups. Toffoli got one tonight against his old team. So I think like I said earlier, with Riardi back in the lineup, I think they just they were missing him. So Jets are going to be they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. So it looked like they're probably going to play Colorado, which will be a pretty good series too. But you start net, advantage goes to Hellebuck over Gorgiev, but top end talent goes to Colorado. So be fun, man. I just want the playoffs to start, to be honest with you. I wish they started like tomorrow.
April 20th is the start date of the playoffs.
Yeah.
No,
I hate to say it, but I think the Avalanche absolutely ruined the Jets.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't the case, and I hope it isn't the case. But
I mean, there's one Stanley Cup ring in Winnipeg's dressing room, and it belongs to Toffoli. Is there anybody else that's won a cup there?
That's a good question.
So Nate Schmidt went to the finals in the inaugural season with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, but Nate Schmidt might not even play in the playoffs. He's so bad.
Yeah, he was an undrafted college player by the Capitals, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nate Schmidt. And then he got picked up in the expansion draft, I think.
And then he got traded to Vancouver, I think, and then he went to...
No, Nate Schmidt didn't go to Vancouver, did he?
Yeah, I think so. I'll find it. I think he played in Vancouver for a little bit and then got traded to the Jets. First, I'm looking at the Jets right now. What was I looking at here? Oh yeah, their depth, like their defensive depth. They have no real replacement players to. Nate Schmidt is a healthy scratch pretty much every night now too. So ever since they got Colin Miller, he hasn't been good for like quite a long time. So
how about Marco Rossi and Tyson Forrester both having 20 goals? And of course, Bedard leads the league in his
right here that he went to Vancouver.
Luke Hughes having 43 assists.
He played one season in Vancouver. I was right. Yeah, 2020.
Who did?
Schmidt.
Yeah.
Nate Schmidt.
Yeah, he was in Vancouver. Yeah, I don't know if he got traded. I think he was part of a trade that Vegas did. And they had to get rid of his salary or something.
Yeah, it was probably the Larson trade. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, no, because Oliver Ekman-Larsson played for the Arizona Coyotes. Pearlo.
Oh yeah, right. So it wasn't a Larson trade. I think it was just a bad trade. But I'll see if I can look it up here.
If I remember right, Nate Schmidt got moved out around the same time Pacioretty got moved out. They were bringing in Eichel, maybe. I don't know. Was it then, or maybe it was? Yeah. They had to get salary.
That's right. They had to move Nate. I think. I think they gave like nothing for Schmidt. You're right. I think that was part of that Eichel trade.
I'll look it up.
They pretty much.
It was part of the trade occurred after Winnipeg sent 2 first-round picks to the Washington Capitals for defensive Brendan Dillon. Then Schmidt refused to be traded to the Jets. Rejoined the Golden Knights. Teammate Paul Sampson in Winnipeg. That thing was a bit of a cluster. Canucks had previously acquired Schmidt from Gomes. Yeah, the Jets just acquired him for a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, Schmidt was traded to Vancouver for a 3rd-round pick in 2022. On NHL draft on October 18th, 2020, after scoring 15 goals or 15 points, 5 goals, 10 assists in 54 games for the Canucks. Team that struggled finishing Nova Scotia. Schmidt was again traded to Winnipeg. So he's been with Winnipeg since. But he played for the Cavs, Vegas, and he was on that Vegas team that went to the finals.
Yeah, in their inaugural year. But you see that multiple attempts, but Schmidt refused to be traded to the Jets. He was on his no trade. So I guess the Jets made several attempts to acquire Schmidt, but he wouldn't waive his modified no trade to facilitate the deal. So then that was on the Monday, and then the Tuesday, I guess Nate Schmidt got traded to the Jets anyway. So he didn't even want to be.
I wonder if it was a date thing, or if somehow they said, "Hey, we'll hook you up." What?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if they're like, hey, we'll buy you a house. I mean, I know there's shit they're not allowed to do, but I'm sure it gets done anyway. I wonder
Hi,
if they're
this is Juanita. She's very excited to meet you, and this is your mansion. And can you drive a stick? Because here's your Ferrari.
Ladies, Pearlo is married. Yeah.
Oh God.
Pearlo gets all the love in the chat, eh? Pearlo is a fucking ladies man.
Yeah, that's how you know it's for sure a scam.
No, they know you're the one with all the money. That's why you got that fancy piano behind you.
They see you at your girlfriend's house with the big back thing. By the way, I saw Kevin Nash was over there the other day. I was like, oh, Kevin Nash is at Pearlo's girlfriend's place.
Yeah, oh yeah. Nash comes over all the time.
Yeah, Elton John rips on the piano every Christmas when he invites him over.
LA Blue Jean baby, seamstress for the band, ballerina. You must have seen him dancing in the sand.
Elton is the boss, man. Freaking love Elton.
Yeah, little him and little Billy Joel, probably a couple of the best piano players out there.
Tiny dancer in my hand.
Hold me closer, Mr. Pearlo.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer. All right. Okay. So a couple other stats I wanted to share with you guys. Yossi and Hedman both at 678 points. That was before these games were played. For their prospective franchises as defensemen. Oh, St. Louis just scored. Jordan Kyrou. Good to see he's back in the game after that hit from Schindler. Has to
I got the draw. I got the draw in this game. Let's go.
Oh, you need one more goal, baby. 4-3. Lots of time left in that game. Also, Ovechkin tied with Fedorov with 696 career assists. Ovechkin is 4 assists away from having 700 career assists. Like, as much credit as the guy gets for scoring goals, dude can pass the damn puck too. He's a way underrated passer, especially for a winger that plays with the type of stick he plays with. Ooh, I think Lowry is pissed about something. No, I like the hit from Rooney. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Are you guys watching this?
No, I got the Winnipeg game on.
Yeah, Rooney, that's the game I'm talking about.
Yeah. No.
Rooney hit, I don't know why he's bitching. That was a clean hit, and he had the puck. Well, he didn't like it. Well, I don't know, man. He didn't leave his feet or anything. Did you see it, Pearlo?
I wasn't watching, no.
Oh, okay. Which are you watching the Blues?
I just moved it over. I'm just like every
yeah. Oh, dude, I have all 3 games up, man. I got all 3 games right here. I'm watching all 3. Looks like empty netter for the Philip Forsberg's gonna ice at 5-3. Sorry, Rico.
Oh, well.
That looks like that'll be the final.
Oh well. Yeah,
that's probably the Blues playoff hopes there too, right, guys?
They weren't going to do anything in the playoffs anyway. Give me Nashville, throw LA in there, throw Vegas in there.
I mean, the Blues just got insanely unlucky too. They would be if Nashville doesn't go on the heater they go on. This is probably a much tighter race. I'm just going to call that game final and pop the score back up. Yeah. Defenseman. Who leads all defensemen in goals? It's a tie. Actually, there's a couple of guys that could get close to these guys too, because Mackenzie Weegar and Rasmus Dahlin both have 18 goals. Cale Makar and Roman Josi are both at 19. Boy, Cale Makar kind of slowed down there at the second half, though, because wasn't he on they were talking about him scoring the most goals since Mike Green? And anyway, the leader in assists is Quinn Hughes. So Quinn Hughes leads all defensemen in points in 86, then Cale Makar. So I think Quinn Hughes is going to win the Norris this year, boys. Don't you? I think they're going to have to give it to him. I think if Makar had stayed up with it, I think maybe. But I think Quinn Hughes is going to get the win this year.
Probably is, yeah.
I mean, he's almost 50, or he's like a whole 5 points ahead of McCarr. But and of course McCarr has a lot of goals, but Hughes has 70 assists, man. Like,
well, not only that, he's been almost elite defensively this year too. At the same time, he doesn't get enough credit for how good he is defensively. He is definitely the best goaltender or best defenseman in the league, no doubt about it. Quinn Hughes is absolutely almost elite defensively, and nobody pays attention to that. They don't. That's awesome. He's a small guy. He doesn't beat people up in the corners, but the guy knows how to play in every situation, all over the ice. There's not even a question. Quinn Hughes is the best defenseman in the league. And this year, McCarr would be as well because he's great both ways as well. But this year, in the situation he's in, I think you got to give it to Quinn for sure.
By the way, Mikko Rantanen got an empty net goal, 5-2 Avs. So it's now 6-3 Nashville too.
Yeah, I'm just getting my ass kicked tonight.
I said I would say, of course, the score changed several times because I said I wasn't going to adjust it anymore.
Yeah, even Kale has dropped huge this year defensively. Huge. Not very good at all. Like about average. For sure, Quinn Hughes. The only one I would think of would be Boston.
Yossi.
McAvoy,
yeah.
Yeah, I think Yossi has a better chance to win it than McAvoy. I think if it's not Quinn Hughes or it's not Kel McCarr, it'll be Roman Yossi, and I think that's the order you'll see it finished.
It's got to be huge.
I think when they publish the votes, which Saravelli says they do after it's all said and done after the award ceremony, I think you will see.
It'll probably be Hughes, McCarr, Yossi, and you got to throw
in that order. Hughes will win. McCarr will be
Hedman and McAvoy 4th and 5th, no matter which way you want.
Yeah, I think Bouchard would have got some love because of how many points he has, but he's just so fucking awful defensively. It's like a joke. If
it was me, it would be McAvoy, but it's going to be Hughes.
Yeah,
if it was me, it would be McAvoy, but
I like McAvoy, and he's not getting that kind of love though, Perlo. Like I'm not hearing his name.
And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that he doesn't get the love because he doesn't have much to work with there.
Better than McCarr and Hughes.
McAvoy is like new defense in Boston.
I don't think he's better than McCarr. I think he's better than at some things than McCarr. I think he's a better defensive defenseman than McCarr. Obviously McCarr's a little faster and a little bit, but McAvoy's underrated offensively, and he probably doesn't have Quinn Hughes' puck moving ability. He's not as good a puck mover as Quinn Hughes, but like I think as an all-around defenseman, I like him better than both those guys. But he's also older. I mean, if I was starting a franchise, I would take McCarr. Because I've never seen anything.
Yeah, I would take McCarr too. McCarr's not having his best year this year.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't care. That doesn't change where I'm going to draft him. That has no bearing. Let's talk about games tomorrow.
I agree with you. McCarr, his top end is better than anybody in the league. No doubt about it. I agree with you. For sure. He's just not having the best year this year. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, if you were building a franchise, you're gonna take McCarr 9 times out of 10, and if you take Quinn Hughes or you took McAvoy, I don't think anybody would blame you. But I'm just saying, like McCarr went 4th overall when he was drafted. There were 3 teams passed on him, so Winnipeg scored again. I think Velarde got a hat trick.
I remember that.
He got a hat trick for Velarde.
Well, there you go, Velarde. There's Rico saying that Velarde in that lineup changes everything.
Only man, he's making a big difference. And if Connor could just get his scoring touch back, I don't know if his lingering injury is still kind of he's playing through something, and you never know. They're not going to say it, especially this time of year.
Yeah, Hey, huge fucking games tomorrow on Friday. 6 games.
Now we better go look at that too because it's getting late.
We can go through all the 6 games real quick. Buffalo welcomes the Flyers. Huge fucking game for the Flyers. Like, huge. I think they have to win this game. They don't have games in hand now. Caps have more games in hand. So they've got to keep winning. And the Islanders, too, right, are now in the mix. I think the Islanders are actually in the – they have the easiest schedule, too, the Islanders do. The Flyers have a pretty easy schedule.
The Penguins have one of the toughest.
They have a real difficult one. The Caps isn't very much easier. The Caps play the Flyers last game of the season. I think it'd be cool to see who wins that. If it ends up being, if whoever wins that game makes the playoffs, I think that would be awesome. But I'll tell you secretly, guys, I would like the Caps to not make the playoffs. I've been rooting for them to be in the mix the whole year, and they haven't, and they've given me a lot of fun and enjoyment. And I hope Ovi hits 30. He's only 3 away, which will give him 852.
Those are lies.
I'd like another
Caps in the playoffs.
No, I don't, man. I know they're not going to do anything. I just wanted them to be in the mix, and they've been in it, and it's been super enjoyable. We've had some good games, I would much rather have a top 10 pick. And can you imagine if they won the number 1 overall pick on accident? We were getting Ryan Leonard and Macklin Celebrini, a BC and a BU guy. Oh my God. I'm allowed to dream. I know the odds of it are so obviously I will go back and find this and tweet the fuck out of this I'm saying this on the 4th of April. If this actually goes down and happens, I'll be like, whoa, hello, I called it. But it's not going to happen. He's probably going to be a San Jose Shark. I just, did they wave that goal off, or was that their 5th goal? Was that Winnipeg's 5th goal? I thought that was their 6th goal. Were they offsides or something?
No, it was their 5th goal. It was their 5th goal.
Oh, the Velarde's was the 5th goal?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Flyers Sabres. It's a must win. The Flyers are plus 105. What do you think, Pearlo?
It's tough because the thing about Buffalo is they play best when they have nothing to play for. That's the hard thing I got here. Philadelphia is going to have to come out and beat the shit out of Buffalo. Like, literally beat the freaking – Buffalo's a soft team. So if Philadelphia ain't ready to go to war here, Buffalo will win. The question is, do you think Philadelphia is willing to go to war? Like, I'm talking about drop them right away.
I do.
If you think Philadelphia is willing to go to war against Buffalo here, Philadelphia wins this game. I'm just not so sure. And that's really the whole narrative that Tortorella is saying here is we're in war zone here, and you guys are playing like we were playing it before the All-Star game. You're not playing like that anymore. You got to go to war now. War. So I'm going to take the Tortorella narrative, and I'm going to say they come in and go to war against Buffalo. And if they do, they beat the shit out of Buffalo because that team is soft as shit.
So you like the over?
No, I like the under. I think Philadelphia plays them under, and they just beat the bejesus out of them all game. I don't think Buffalo – I would hope here that Buffalo is not prepared for what Philadelphia is going to bring. And it's going to be like we're going to grind it out all freaking game, and if you don't like it, too fucking bad. So that's the way Tortorella wants to play. And if you're going to beat Buffalo in this spot, you got to go out there right away and say, we're beating the shit out of you. And you can try to outscore us, I suppose, but you're going to hate it while you do it because we're going to fucking destroy you physically. That's the way Philadelphia has to win. And that's what Tortorella's been saying the whole time. If you're not prepared to do that this time of year, you're going to die. So the question is, do you think Philadelphia is able to do that in this game? I'm going to bank that he gets them in the position that they can do that. It'll be an under, and I'll take Philadelphia about like 3-2 or something like that.
Yeah, pardon me. I'm totally with Pearlo on this. I mean, Buffalo and Philly are both top 10 in the league in shots allowed. and Philly's like top three in penalty kill as well too. So Philly doesn't give up much. They can play well defensively. It's probably not going to be a back and forth game. This is the first game on a road trip for Philly after playing Monday night. So they're rested a little bit. This will be a bit of a business trip. They got Buffalo, then they got a couple of weak opponents after this as well too. And then Buffalo's going on the road to Detroit and to Dallas. So their bags are packed. They're the young guys, young team. They're going to want to hit the road after this. They know they're out of it. So this is all business for Philly. It's not going to be high scoring. It's going to be an under game. And like Pearlo said, probably 3-1,
real quick.
3-2.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Breaking news from Frank Saravelli. The Yotes issued a statement saying they intend to win the state land auction and are committed to Arizona. The auction is scheduled for June 27th. Not pouring cold water on release, but remember they intended to win the Tempe referendum too. Let's see what happens between now and June 27th. And then they just the statement here. But anyway, I think this is it. We're going to know what's going to happen to the Arizona Coyotes by the 27th of June. Anyway, Rico, continue your point about the game. I apologize.
Yeah, at least they're not the Oakland A's where you're going to have to go play 2 years in Sacramento.
Or I heard up to 4 they could be there. 3 for sure, up to 4.
Oh my God.
Dude, just build a stadium in Oakland. The owner is such a
dude, they got no more football team. They got no more basketball team. Now they got no more baseball team. Like they're leaving. Oakland's like the exhaust of Northern California, man. I feel bad for all the real
man.
sports
It's a
fans out
beautiful
there.
area there, Oakland, Alameda.
But on the same note, I think the owner's kind of saying to the league, like, you're not helping out here at all, so fuck you. I'm gonna embarrass the shit.
No, but Pearlo, like, you don't need public funds to build a stadium, bro. Build a stadium with your own rich ass money, man.
Yeah, but why would he?
Because you can. You know that they use those for other than just ball, right?
Yeah, but
they're
you know
absolute
that
cash making machines. You got
but
all this other
know
stuff
that he's
there.
embarrassing the league here, right? Why would you use your own money?
Dude, Pearlo, I'm going to tell you, I don't want to talk any baseball on this show because we've got so much good playoff hockey to talk about. Yeah. But this owner is widely regarded as a big, giant piece of shit. And if you're defending him, you're going to look like one. So I would just fucking move on. Okay, so Cavs Hurricanes. Cavs have to win this. They're plus 200. I did not like what I saw from the Hurricanes tonight, and actually I haven't liked the Cavs have actually played the Hurricanes well this year. I don't know what it is. I like the Cavs at plus 200 here. What do you think, Rico?
Yeah, I mean, pardon me, the Caps are at home to Boston Saturday, then at the Sabres, home against the Penguins, and now they go to Carolina, and that's a
back-to-back, but I like the Caps game tonight. I don't think they lost due to a lack of good play. They just didn't have any bounces go their way.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to take the Hurricanes here just because you're going to have to pay a price. And, I mean, they're at home against the Blue Jackets, so it's not a look ahead after this game for Carolina as well, too, but yeah, I mean, divisional
Kings just scored, by the way.
Beautiful. Was it
Kempe?
God.
Did you have a goal scorer?
Not on Kempe. I got Kopitar and Moore.
Oh. No, it was Kempe. I think, yes.
Yeah. Did Oshie play tonight against Pittsburgh?
No, he did not. I meant to lead off with that. He did not play. Okay. Hey, by the way, if he plays the rest of the season, he'll have only played 54 games. I'm telling you, man, he's an LTIR waiting to happen. I think he has 1 year left on his deal, but I just don't see how, man, he can't stay healthy. And they need to fill that spot with somebody that can play that bumper, man. So they got to start looking in free agency.
I think Ocean knows this is his last year, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kachuk. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, LA just scored again.
Beautiful. Good. I got the over as my best bet in that game too.
I got the Kings -1.5 in the over in that one. So.
Beauty. But
Thomas for the Kings. Thomas. I don't know.
Keel Thomas?
Yeah, Keel Thomas.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah, black kid.
I love those kind of
first
guys.
career goal. Akil Thomas, first career goal.
Good for him.
He's been fighting in the AHL for a long time to get here. I hope he does well.
Dude, that is awesome, man. Yeah, he roofed it, man. There wasn't a goalie in the world gonna save that. That was just an outstanding shot. And he shot a bounce. He got a bouncing puck to settle down and just roofed it. Yeah,
Right.
That goalie was not saving that. I don't care who that was. The goalie played it great. You just shot it perfect. Oppo top Delfo.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me in that Carolina game is they might want redemption because Washington did pump them last time and Kachekov.
Well, it was like 7-6 overtime or in a shootout or something.
Yeah, but I mean, still.
But isn't Kemper going to be in here?
Well, honestly, man, Lindgren needs to break. If Lindgren was starting, I wouldn't touch this game because he has not played well. He let in 2 goals tonight he should have had. So, he only
Kachekov's
let 3
going to be
in
in net tomorrow too.
Fucking had.
What?
Chekhov's going to be in net tomorrow for Carolina, and he let in 6 on that night to the Capitals. And Lindgren
Carolina and the over.
The goal
Carolina
got pulled that game.
After losing to Boston, I mean, Carolina.
The over-under is 5.5. It's only 5.5 that
I'll
game.
give you the over for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Over. That would be my bet.
Caps are due to explode here, too. Getting Wilson back. They're not going to be tired. Maybe Oshie plays in this game. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one's a good one, guys. Rangers, Red Wings. I don't know. That's a good game. I mean, that's a really significantly important game for the Red Wings. They're at plus 120 home dog. And the over-under is 6. I definitely like the over, and I know the Rangers are going to be riding the high of the Rempe thing and stuff, but boy, the Wings got to win this game, man. This is like a significant win for them if they're going to be in the playoffs.
I'll start with this one. The Wings win this all day.
Okay. Wow.
After all that freaking emotional shit that they just went through, the Rangers, and they're going to play with the freaking Red Wings, like they don't give a shit about this game. They don't care at all.
They might want to play the Red Wings. That might be a better matchup for them. So losing to them,
the
Rangers rest like 7 of their 9 starters on offense.
Do you think the Rangers want to put their stamp on the Red Wings here? No, not a chance. This is a Red Wings.
I like it. I like it.
Red Wings all day. It's probably one of my favorite plays of the year. Red Wings win this all day.
Ooh. Wow. Well, the only thing that scares me about, Detroit is they just came off a 5-game road swing, but it was an Eastern road trip. It was down to Florida and up to Carolina and stuff. So it's not like they're out west in different time zones more than a couple hours. So, I mean, Detroit's going to have to come out at home. Little Caesars Arena is going to be rocking. Detroit needs a win. I mean, I could see the Rangers not putting in the effort against a team that basically is do or die right now in front of their home fans. So, and you'll make decent money if you take Detroit here. So, I mean, the Rangers are going to go back home on Sunday and play Montreal. So,
after that big brawl and stuff that they just went through, and now that you got to go into Detroit, like you don't even give a shit about them. Like,
Detroit plays a lot on Friday nights. That's like Detroit's hockey night in Canada. Is Friday nights in Detroit. The Wings always play at home on Friday nights. If you look at their schedule, that's kind of like their night, their home game, and all the fans go out. It's crazy in that building on Friday nights. I remember being a Detroit Leaf fan growing up. I always used to watch a Detroit Friday night and the Leafs Saturday night. So, I love the Wings there, man.
That's a good point. I love the Wings, sir. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. I'll put a little bit in money line, and I'll probably put some in regulation, too. I'll even go in regulation. I really think Wings are going to destroy here.
Okay, let's move on to the next game because I know it's a game you guys want to watch. I'm definitely watching it. Avalanche at Oilers. Little disappointing Avalanche on a back-to-back, but Avalanche riding high. Edmonton just got their ass whooped. This is going to be a good game. I think Edmonton's going to try to bring their A game. You just read the stat against top 5 teams are 4-6-1. I worry about this team in a 7-game series against a good team, and this is a good team. By the way, the Avs are plus 105. I'm taking the Avs. Pearlo, what do you think?
What the hell are the Oilers going to bring here after that loss against Dallas? That's the thing. Like, were they looking ahead to the Avalanche, really? To me, that shows poor character. Like, how could you be looking ahead here? Dallas is a team that you're going to play as well. But it appears that they were looking ahead to this Colorado game. So they're probably going to be dialed in here. Colorado didn't have the greatest road trip, and they're coming back at home now to play the Oilers. This is going to be one balls out game, I would imagine. It's hard for me to say who's going to win this game. I think you have no choice but to take the draw here. I think you have no choice. I don't think it's going to be an under. I think no matter what, like maybe they start off slow, but eventually the egos will want to get the pace up over the game. So this would be a great game to start to live bet and wait like 5 or 6 minutes in and try to get like an over 6, and then it'll just go balls out after that. Yeah, that's what I would say. But if you're going to do pregame, I would probably say the over, the draw, and at home, Colorado will probably take it on the money line. But those are all leans. That's just like talking out of my head. So what do you think, Rico?
Yeah, there's advantages for both teams here. I mean, Edmonton was in Dallas Wednesday night, then they're back home against the Avalanche. And then they play Hockey Night in Canada, Battle of Alberta, the next night, Saturday night at Calgary. So they know they're going to get banged up and played hard in that game as well, too, on the Saturday. So it's a little tricky spot for the Oil here, man. I mean,
it's another reason I like the Avs at plus 105.
Yeah, and I mean the Avalanche are just in Columbus, in Minnesota, at Edmonton, and then they're going home for 3 games. But then they got Dallas right after Edmonton, so it's almost like it's a divisional matchup that Colorado is going to get right after the Oilers here at home in Colorado. So this could be a bit of a look ahead spot for the Avalanche too. I think give me the Oilers here.
Especially after getting their ass kicked against Dallas.
Yeah, I would say take the Oilers here, but watch out for Calgary on Hockey Night in Canada, because those games, no matter where they are in the standings, those games always go either way, and especially in Calgary.
I don't think there's a more competitive guy in the NHL than Nate Dogg.
One thing I would take is both teams to score first period. You might not have a better spot where you could take both teams to score first period. Both teams are going to go balls out in this first period for sure, I would think. Yeah.
Did Colorado have their backup in net tonight?
I don't know.
Yeah, they did. It's going to be Gorgiev.
Yeah.
Well, good. That was a wise choice too, because Colorado lost to Minnesota in Minnesota. Nobody would have said shit, right? Nobody says shit.
It's going to be a wicked game, man. I could take a coin flip on this game. I'm with Pearlo. Colorado, Edmonton draw. I can't take a side there.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about the last 2 games because they're pointless and they mean nothing. And the
well, just tell me quick, and then we'll do it quick, and then move.
Well, it's Kraken Ducks. You don't care, and it's Golden Knights Coyotes. Neither of those. I mean, the Golden Knights need to keep winning. They are going to. Arizona is not
going to slaughter the Coyotes, and the Ducks will probably beat Seattle.
Maybe the Coyotes, with the news of their stadium coming out, plus 145. You like them, but I don't know, man.
You know what?
I like the Ducks against the Kraken at plus money, but
ever since sports betting was starting being promoted by the NHL, and next year I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay attention to the games that nobody's going to watch. I've kicked ass on those. But the games that everybody's going to watch, there's been some funky stuff going on, man. So I'm going to bet those Anaheim's Kraken.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you
doing really well.
Talk about it.
I'm doing really well on those. So I'm gonna
Beard, I love your call with the Ducks, man. Like Seattle should not be a minus 165 favorite, and Anaheim's fully healthy now.
Yeah, they're playing good hockey.
Apart from Ratko Gudas, he's out, but I mean they got some forwards and they're able to put the puck in the net right now. And
I'm taking the Ducks all day in that spot. All day in that spot for sure.
Yeah, home too. The Ducks are not a bad home team, plus 140. Seattle's not good this year. They're 31-31. They're the definition of mid.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anaheim's off a 5-game road trip, but they were just up in Alberta and Vancouver and stuff. So it's not like they're on the other side of the continent.
Yeah. No, they're not even leaving time zones, basically. They play in the same time zone. Yeah. Or just about like an hour difference. Gold Knights at Yotes. Yotes are plus 145. I said, maybe if you wanted to take a flyer at the Yotes with the news of them getting a stadium, the players come out fired up. I've liked what I've seen with Coyotes and all their call-ups, but I've also loved what I've seen from the Vegas Golden Knights last 3 games. Look good. And Hurdle's playing.
I know. Watch out now. The Golden Knights are 7-2-1 in their last 10, and Hurdle's in the lineup. Noah Hannafin.
We're talking about Edmonton passing Vancouver for the top spot. Can you imagine if the Golden Knights pass Edmonton for second?
Dude, Noah Hannafin's been playing well. He's fitting right into that.
He's totally fitting in there, dude.
They're so deep defensively if they're 100% when it comes around.
Nobody
is an overtime game-winning Stanley Cup goal to his name.
Nobody's paying
attention to the bottom pair.
Dude, who do you put your money on to win the cup in the Western Conference? Like, who do you?
I'm taking the Knights, man.
Yeah, I said I
started out with Knights in Florida, and I freaking kind of waffled on Colorado, but I'm going the Knights. I'm going the Knights.
It's a rematch
again this year.
Stanley Cup rematch, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the rematch, and I started out with that, but I've waffled all year long because it's been a rough year. But
Vegas just has to get their goaltending healthy.
To the Knights right now. Next year, I'll go a little closer to LA because this Byfield kid is going to ruin the league next year in LA. This Byfield kid is a freaking monster.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait. I'm loving seeing him and Lafreniere really starting to hit their stride, which is cool, man.
Anyways, but I mean, Vegas is going to, whoever they play in the first round, Edmonton, whoever, if they play Vancouver, forget about it. They'll destroy Vancouver. Destroy them. Colorado would be their biggest competition. These guys are geniuses in that.
Yeah, Vegas is a bad matchup for Vancouver. I think LA is a bad matchup for Vancouver. So I think you could see LA and the Golden Knights play each other in the second round. And I like the Golden Knights in that one to prevail just because I don't like LA's goaltending situation.
I don't think LA is going to beat Edmonton, though.
They're not going to play Edmonton in the first round, buddy. They're going to play Vancouver.
If they do.
Oh,
yeah, I'm just saying if they do.
No, they're going to play Vancouver. Yes. Edmonton and the Golden Knights are about a lock. We're going to get that in the first round.
That's going to be a 7-game series, Vancouver.
That's unbelievable. You got it, Beard. That was your wish. Edmonton, Vegas, first round.
Hey, I think it's going to be a 5-game series.
I think Vegas will ruin Edmonton. Ruin them. It won't even be close.
I think it'll be 5-game series. Okay, so that's all the games that we on Friday, but there's 20 games this weekend, 11 on Saturday. We'll just hit a few here. Jets Wild would have meant something, but I feel like the Wild are out. Lightning Penguins is start off. Let's just start it off. That's the early game. That's a fucking huge game for Pittsburgh. I also equally think that, the Tampa Bay is in striking distance of the Maple Leafs. And I'm not saying the Maple Leafs are playing bad. I've liked what I've seen from the Leafs as of late, but I think they want those 4 home games. I think they're fighting for it. So they're not out of it. I think this is a meaningful game for Tampa. I've liked what I've seen from them. Obviously we don't have lines or over-unders. Who do you guys like in this game?
Tampa is going to destroy Pittsburgh. That's 4 games in 6 nights for Pittsburgh and the 1:00 start on that 4th game.
But at home.
Yeah, it's a lot of hockey. This is going to catch up to them in this game against the Lightning. This is going to be a feast for them, I think.
Yeah, Lightning puck line for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa's got the Blue Jackets after this. Then they got the Senators, the Capitals, the Sabres. Like, the Lightning got some winnable games here. Then they played the Leafs April 17th, the last game of the regular
Lightning
season.
are ramping up to get in hot to the playoffs right now. Cooper's got them just freaking driving. He let them float all year. I wish I would have saw it, but he let them float all year just to barely make it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This guy's a genius. We don't talk about Cooper as one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Cooper's a lawyer, man. He's an ex-lawyer. The guy knows how to speak. He knows how to treat people.
He's a genius. If you gave him Coach of the Year this year, I would not argue. He's got to get at least one before he fucking goes.
Should.
The guy's amazing.
Even though they're the Tampa Bay Lightning and they have Stanley Cups, like, they keep getting pecked away. Like, the eagle keeps pecking at their prey and taking away a piece of meat off that team every single year.
Yeah,
and you know, it's
honestly, well, like, everybody's forgetting about what he did with this team. This team's got like Perbix. Like they really don't have all that much depth.
What a save in LA breakaway and stone the guy. Hey,
by the way, Rittich this year. Can we just like give this guy some props, man?
Did he shut Edmonton out in LA?
The guy is playing fantastic right now. Like,
ex-Leaf.
Big save, Dave. Ex-Flame too, right?
Yeah, the Leafs traded a third-round pick for him, and he never hit the ice really for
He hasn't really did well his whole career. He hasn't been consistent, but this year, this guy's a fucking rock, man. Like, he's really, really good. Anyways, let's move on. What's the next game?
Yeah, good one, guys. It's Panthers at Bruins, and I like it. I like the Panthers coming off like a signature. Hey, we're back on track. 6-0 win. Bruins had a really nice win against Carolina on today. Now, they're obviously not going to be playing Friday, so this is a Saturday game again. What do you guys think about this game? Go ahead, Pearlo.
Panthers all day.
Okay.
All day. They beat Carolina. Okay. Did they outplay Carolina? No. So they're coming in all fat and sassy thinking that they're good. Florida's trying to get themselves back into that playoff. Like, they took a little break here, but this is going to be a war. Florida will win that war. Boston's not going to be prepared for what Florida's going to bring in this game, I don't think. And that might be the reason why I just keep on fading Carolina, is I'm not sure they're willing to go to war. I like their team as a whole. Like, they're probably the most fit team, but you got to be able to go to war too. You have to be able to freaking go to fucking war. And I don't see that with Carolina yet. So we'll see. But Florida, I know they're able to. And I think they're going to here. And I think they'll beat Boston. That's my. So that's what I say.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, I'm the same thing, man. I mean, they lost to Boston last time they played them. So this is a little bit of a payback for Florida. And I mean, they tucked in a shit ton of goals in Ottawa tonight, so that only breeds confidence as well too. getting a lot of goals from even guys like Sam Bennett, Nick Cousins. That's another team that's ramping up for the playoffs too. And I mean, Ekblad and Verhaeghe gone does hurt, so I could probably see an under in this game. You'll probably see it out of 5.5. I'm not going to see a shit ton of goals in this game. It's going to be tight either way. I'll probably lean a draw, and then maybe a small bet on Florida if I have to take a side here.
Okay. All right, so I'm not going to talk about Blackhawks Stars because we got a lot of games I wanted to talk about, and we still have a ton here. Jets Wild's an interesting one. Where do you guys come out on that one?
Go ahead, Rico, first.
Yeah, I mean, the Wild are out of bullets, so the Jets are starting to feel a little better now. Viardi's back. I mean, huge hole. And it's all but over. It's gonna be an afternoon game in Minnesota. They'll probably put up some type of a fight. That's another one that I don't really see as a high scoring game. But with a cat in my way, I'll be like, I'll take the Winnipeg Jets there. You probably see Fleury and Hellebuyck, but yeah. I mean, even Hartman's out now. He's suspended, so he was putting some pucks in the net. I just don't know where the ton of offense is going to come from the Minnesota Wild. So,
yeah, give me the odds for a hat trick for Kirill Kaprizov to hit 40. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Ooh. On Hellebuyck, probably plus 1,200.
Yeah, give me the odds on that. Throw a $5 on Kaprizov to get a hat trick just for fun. Or maybe you could get odds on Kaprizov to have a hat trick before the end of the season, or to hit 40. I don't know. See what you could get for odds. Okay, Pearlo, what do you want to talk about that Jets Wild game at all?
I think like after this win, I think the Jets keep on rolling against Minnesota. I think Minnesota's whole season was against Colorado here, and they couldn't get her done.
Vegas, where they pulled the goalie. Wasn't it Vegas? Where they pulled the goalie and it was Vegas. They were chasing Vegas. They pulled the goalie and they got scored on in overtime, so they lost the point. So
yeah, Vegas, but I think this game against Minnesota had a chance here, just to it was like the last ditch, and I think every team knows it, or every player knows it. And now Winnipeg is coming a little bit hot. They're feeling good about themselves. And I think Winnipeg wins this pretty handily. I'll take Winnipeg in regulation.
Okay. The next game I want to talk about is Flyers Blue Jackets in Columbus. I've liked what I've seen from Columbus, and they weren't bad tonight either against a desperate Islanders team who's trying to make the playoffs still. And I think the Islanders are going to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be the Islanders, and I think the Flyers are going to squeeze in. I think the Islanders have a pretty easy schedule. I think the Flyers have a pretty easy schedule. I think Pittsburgh and Washington have a pretty daunting schedule. And then, I think if Washington can stay in the mix, that Flyers game means something last game of the season, but we'll see. What do you guys feel about that game, Flyers, Blue Jackets?
I don't think Philadelphia loses to Columbus. Never. Okay. Never. I don't know if
they can't afford to. They got to take points. They need points.
Well, I mean, there's the whole Tortorella ex Columbus.
Well, it's a divisional game, Pearlo. I mean, people forget. But
Tortorella was a coach at Columbus, and you got all that. But the fact is, one thing that the Philadelphia Flyers have been really good at all year is they beat the teams that they should beat. They might struggle against the better teams, but they always beat the teams that they should beat. And I think that they will beat the Jackets here because that's what they do. I would put it as an under. They're going to totally try to drag down this game. They're not going to run and gun with Columbus here. They have no reason to. They can dictate the pace.
Hey, Pearlo, I want to augment something you said earlier tonight. This is from Ryan Whitney 4 minutes ago. It's showing a clip here. I'll just put the clip on the thing here so you guys can see it. This is exactly what you were saying earlier in the game. I want people to know Pearlo is a very wise man. He says, this is why I don't know if man-on-man D coverage can win a Stanley Cup. Hurricanes in my top 5 possible cup winners, but with one breakdown playing man-on-man, it seems like a grade A scoring chance against. And it shows it right there. Pearlo's been saying he doesn't think
it's a mental and physical. If any team could do it, if anybody can get a team to do it, it's Brind'Amour. But I'm telling you, man, it's a mental and physical freaking grind. Every game, you have to be perfect. Brind'Amour's a perfectionist, and he's trying to build a team that's not only a machine, but that makes no mistakes at all. And if he does it, I worship the dude. But to try to do it is fucking insane. It's insane. So, yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. Whitney knows that because he played, right? So he knows. Yeah. It's insane. People give Tortorella shit. Honestly, people should be giving Brind'Amour shit
By the way, Couturier, you saw Couturier's out, right? He's out, and they're hoping to have him back come playoff time, but he's out with an upper body injury.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he was like he just the guy's got so much heart he won't pull himself, and Tortorella knew he needed to be pulled because he was hurt, but he will just keep on going and going and going and
Yeah,
going.
he got injured in the last game they played though, where he only had like 2 minutes.
I think he was hurt before that, but Tortorella was trying to get the guy like, come on, dude, take yourself out for the fucking love.
Okay, let's jump back into we talked about Flyers, Blue Jackets. Do you guys want to talk about Maple Leafs, Canadians, Hockey Night in Canada? I've liked what I've seen from Montreal. I mean, they scored 4 tonight on. I think Toronto can ill afford. And also, by the way, I always notice a little bit of homerism happening in the calls and things that go on in Montreal. Like the fact they called a bad goal a good goal, and then like 3 minutes later, like the league stepped in and said, no, that's not a goal. And they actually had to take it off. But they ended up winning the game convincingly. So it really didn't get a lot of play. But I do think there's always a little shadiness that happens in Montreal. I almost always feel like, we're taking the L. Any team that goes in there. It's funny to me, you know.
Yeah, I'll give it to the Toronto fan here to start.
Yeah, go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, I mean, after the Leafs last game, they're going to have Samsonov in net on a Saturday night. Much, much more to lose here for the Leafs and Habs. I mean, coming off that loss, this is a no-brainer to take the Leafs here. I mean, not much else to say here after that loss to the Lightning. You got Montreal and Pittsburgh here coming up, but Habs at home on a Saturday night. They're like Calgary and Edmonton, man. It's like the Battle of Alberta. It's like Montreal and Toronto. It's like you got the Habs fans, you got the Leaf fans. They're going to be all over the crowd there. Thing is, Montreal plays at New York the next night as well. So who's going to start net? Both of them have been good. Primo let in 7 tonight, so it'll probably be Montembeault, and then Primo will probably get the start at the Rangers, I would think. If it's Montembeault in net, it'll probably be a game. But Toronto on the Saturday night, everybody's be watching, whether it's home or away. I got to take the Leafs in that game, but depending on the price too. Take first period over for sure. Both teams to score first period. Probably see them coming out at each other. But I could totally see Montreal winning this game too. They got a lot of confidence lately. Montreal's been hot. They're not tanking. Marty St. Louis not tanking.
He's not doing his team any favors.
He's playing Matheson 30 minutes a night, and he's playing Wi-Fi
that's
like 30
ridiculous,
seconds.
by the way. That's ridiculous. Like, seriously, bro.
I don't know, man. Montreal looks good. That's Slafkovsky and Suzuki and Caulfield. That top line in Montreal, those guys are producing every single night. Now you're getting like scoring from Armia, Jake Evans, these secondary guys in Montreal. Alex Newhook, he's chipping in pretty much a point a night as well too. You can cash that guy more games than not. And the Marner thing, and they're just banged up. Edmonton's skating, but he's not quite back. So, I mean, you could only ask so much from Bobby McMahon on the second line as well, too. I mean, there's no way at the beginning of the year that.
Yeah, but if he's playing good third line minutes once you get Marner back, which I think they should not put Marner back on the first line. I think they should put Marner with Tavares, is my opinion. I would like to see that top line stay together with Bertuzzi and Domi with Austin Matthews. I think it's made Austin Matthews a better player, and he's played some of the best hockey. I think him and Marner are bad for each other. I don't think they should even be on the same team, but they're good. I would not play them on the same line. And I think Marner would help Tavares. Tavares can't do anything on his own anymore. He needs to he's unbelievable in front of the net though. And Marner's the right guy to have on the line with him. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right, man, because Bertuzzi and Domi in the offensive zone have good forecheck skills, and Matthews is a great puck retriever too. Like, he'll take the puck off somebody's stick all day.
And every one of those guys are lethal around the net too. Domi will score, Bertuzzi will score around the net. I know he struggled early in the year, but I just think it was like they didn't know what to do with him. They were not giving him any minutes. He wasn't playing a lot. I don't think Keefe had an idea what the fuck he was going to do with him. So
no, I like Domi on that wing, on that right side with Matthews on the top line instead of him putting in a third line center role for sure.
Yeah,
and bury Domi in the bottom.
He's a high end guy. He's got good skill, and when you have two guys that are as good defensively as Bertuzzi and Austin Matthews, that could kind of outweigh Domi's inability to play great two ways. I think he's gotten better as his career has gone on. Yeah. But I like that, and they've played well with that. I mean, I know they got their ass kicked by Tampa Bay, but like those teams have played each other so many times. Just throw the score out. You never know what's going to happen in this game. Yeah. I feel I really liked the Leafs against Florida. Yeah, they let them back in, but they were short defensively and stuff like that. So, you know, and I think too, like, I don't think TJ Brody's going to, I know they were talking about this on Kipper and Bourne again, give them credit, but I think it's a real likelihood that TJ Brody doesn't play like he's your 7th D. Like, I would rather have Benoit in there. That guy had like 11 hits last night in that game.
Yeah.
Like, that's
it's
a guy.
It's the Liljegren injury right now, too, that he's getting.
Yeah. So if Liljegren's healthy, I think TJ Brody's probably a healthy scratch.
Yeah, well, even that because he's a right-hand shot too, and Brody's getting a little bit slow, and that puck retrieval on that wrong side is wearing him down a little bit in the defensive zone.
I know he's had some personal stuff. He had like a death in the family and stuff. So,
well, also, did you bring up why Boone Jenner missed the game tonight?
No. Oh yeah, I didn't, man. I saw that. I debated on whether we should talk about that, but he had
just horrible, man. Just
he had a child that was born stillborn. We can say it real quick, just to talk. Yeah, awful, man. Like, so he obviously probably couldn't play. That's brutal, man. Heart goes out to the Jenner family, like, absolutely brutal thing.
Yeah, it sucks, man. We're all human. At the end of the day, they're all our heroes. We watch them on TV. We've never met them in our life, but we cheer for them. And we know that at the end of the day, they're all human. So, and whether you're a hockey player or not, you know, just a horrible, horrible thing to happen. So, and because we're invested in hockey, we can see it and hear it, and then it's in the news where somebody that you've never met in your life, you wouldn't know that this would happen to them because you don't know them, but because they're hockey players, we know them, but there's a human side to it, and heart goes out for sure.
Yeah, that's awful, man. It's brutal. Pearlo, did you get to say your bit about the Leafs and the Habs?
Yeah, I agree with Rico there. I just think after that loss against Tampa Bay, I think that Montreal's kind of like going towards a slaughter here. It's not going to be pretty. They're not going to let down against Montreal here at home on a Saturday night. And if you're not going to do that against Montreal, they're going to come out and play hard. For sure Montreal is, but you just got way too many weapons in Toronto to win that game. I would lean the over as well. Team total over for the Leafs. The only thing is Montembeault is actually way better than people give him credit for. But, I just can't see them taking Montreal lightly here. And as long as you don't, you're probably going to beat their ass.
So. That's the one thing I will give Keefe a lot of credit for. I think he always tries to keep, but traditionally Toronto just doesn't play good against the bottom teams in the NHL. They always struggle. This year, I have not seen that as much from them. Have you noticed that, Rico? I have not seen that as much. You may have a surprise guest on, so I'll be interested to get his opinion. He's a Leaf supporter on how he feels they've played against the other teams. So, okay, so Devils Senators, that would have been an interesting game if those teams were in the Mezzo. Here he is right now. Let's get him in. The legend, Hot Take Hockey. Hey, we were just talking about your Maple Leafs. and the Canadians on Hockey Night in Canada and how that game might shape out. How you feeling? You think the Leafs take them light or?
I mean, maybe, but I would say after those last two games, almost blowing the lead against Florida, and then that ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people made the excuse on the Vasilevsky performance, but I mean, I don't think there was enough pushback against the Tampa team that obviously is behind them. So,
I thought Wall let in maybe one or two goals you'd want back.
Yeah, but
I didn't hate the Leafs' effort, and then I thought Reeves beat the piss out of Chino. I mean,
I'll say this: I think the first line and the fourth line showed up in a lot of ways. The only thing is David Kampf. I don't know if you guys caught it, but on Braden Point's goal, David Kampf just caught napping. Like, he started puck walking. He kind of shifted into the corner and left his center guy who's supposed to be marked.
Yeah, you don't put that one on the goalie. Yeah.
No, you don't put him on the goalie at all. That's on David Kampf completely. So outside of that David Kampf blunder, fourth line was great on the cycle. Ryan Reeves just showed Ryan Reeves shut people up real quickly, just with his value that he can bring. And the first line was great. I mean, Matthews, Bertuzzi, Domi, they've been great. They were great.
Yeah. We were just saying too, hot take, before you go down that road, I asked Rico, I think when Marner comes back, I think they should put him on the second line. You could drop McCann to the third. I don't think you should upset that top line with Domi, Matthews, and Bertuzzi. I think those two guys have made Matthews better, and in turn, he's made them a little bit better. I've liked what I've seen. What do you think there?
Yep, agreed. I was going to say, I think I've brought this up a million times, Jeremiah. You've heard me probably just preach about it, is like watching Pittsburgh win cups with Hagelin and Bonino joined by Kessel on the third line. I've always said drop Nylander and Marner to that third line and just let them destroy other third lines in the playoffs. Like, you have the top line with Matthews, you have a second line with Tavares and whichever winger you want to pick to join Tavares. And then again, this is just an example.
I agree.
This is just an example, but if you run Matthew Nyes on a third line with William Nylander and Pontus Holmberg, or Calle Jarnkrok and William Nylander, like, that's just an example I'm giving. And then you could run a second line of Robertson, Tavares, and Marner. Like, that's a pretty still electric second line, and you have two legit threats with Nyes and Nylander on the third line. So, like, that's kind of my mindset on it. I mean, Pittsburgh, Mike Sullivan would always, like, it would drive him nuts how Kessel would always, like, let him down on tough matchups, whether he's on the first or second line with Crosby or Malkin. And then he's like, hey, let's put him with this defensive guy named Nick Bonino and just give him easier matchups on the third line. And all of a sudden, oh my God, Kessel's like,
he's destroying it. He led the playoffs with game winners, like 5 game winners. That should have easily won the Conn Smythe that year. Yeah.
Totally could see a similar thing happening with a guy like William Nylander. Watching Nylander last night against Tampa, Rico, I don't know how closely you watched that game. Even my brother, biggest Nylander fan, my sister, biggest Nylander fan, they were even saying Nylander was skating around like a Sunday skate last night. So Nylander has.
But he does that too much.
Yeah, Jeremiah. He either looks like the best player on the ice in terms of, like, including both teams, or he looks like the laziest. There's no in between.
Or like a total liability.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, Nylander has those, and that's why it drives me nuts. But he literally is so skilled. He can. It was like Kessel in a way. Like, he can be the best player on the ice on any given night, but unfortunately, like, he has those lulls, and it's hard to watch.
No, I mean, I will tell you though, John, I have really loved what I've seen from Toronto as of late. They feel like a physical team. They're going to get knocked around. I know Florida kind of climbed back into that game, but I think that's just a testament to how good they are. And I think the Leafs told themselves, like, that's probably going to be the first round matchup. They played a really good game, and I don't think they're going to get pushed around the ice. And mind you, Edmondson wasn't there. I mean, what Edmondson did in that Oilers game, I think made him a made man in Toronto, man. Like, because that was such a great game. I don't think I've ever seen the Leafs be that physical with another team, and they just out physicaled Edmonton that whole game. It was awesome.
No, I agree. And Jeremiah, I mean, I said it when it happened. Like, if Edmondson was a right shot guy, everyone and their mother would have been praising that trade. It was just the fact that he was another left shot coming in, but his style is absolutely.
He can play both, though. I think
he can play both, but his style is exactly what this team has been starving for.
Yeah, All we need is Sammy to keep it rolling. I know when Austin Matthews got the belt in the Buffalo dressing room the other night when he hit that plateau, I know Sammy looked over and you could have totally gave it to him too. So I just want this guy's confidence. I want him rolling.
He's played good though, didn't he?
No, he could have had the belt that night too in Buffalo, but it was because of Matthews and his goals. So
yeah, Rico, I'm with you, man. I tweeted out that Sammy and Matty should have shared the belt that night.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, but it's cool that Matthews got 60, man. That's
I get it. It's 60. You don't see 60 every freaking day. You don't see 50 every day.
Done it twice in a row, and I think only like 4 dudes have done that. So
1 year off, right? He had the down year 40 goal year last.
No, but I'm saying he's done. He's scored it twice. He's had 2 60-goal seasons, regardless if he did them consecutively. Yeah. I think Stamkos hasn't done that. Ovi hasn't done that. Again, I always feel like Ovi would have about 75 more goals. We'd be talking about Ovi's chase to 950 right now, but lockouts and strikes. And Crosby fans could say he'd be getting close to 2,000. I don't know if you saw the stat. Ovi's tied with Fedorov for second most assists all time by a Russian player, 696. So here's a guy who's going to have 700 assists. He never gets any credit for passing the puck.
Yeah, I mean that's Jeremiah. I was going to say not to hijack with Crosby talk on your show because I know that's the last thing you want. But I was just going to say, doesn't it seem like a lifetime ago? Like, I mean, it is over a decade ago when Crosby was going through all those concussion issues and he was out for long periods of time. And David Steckel almost ended his career. Like that seems like a lifetime ago.
I think the Hedman hit did more damage to him, honestly, because I know the Steckel one was kind of a weird one, but like. When he got hit the next game, I think that's what did all the spinal, because it ended up not being concussion problems, right? They were misdiagnosing him, right? He was having some other issue, like a nerve issue or something, and they thought it was concussions. And I think that's why his injuries were more. I could be way off here, but I thought that there was an article about that where they couldn't figure out like. It wasn't even concussions. They hadn't misdiagnosed it. Like the symptoms were very similar. And that Hedman hit where he cross-checked him from behind and he looked like a noodle up against the boards. I was like, oh, something's wrong there. And his head hit the boards and stuff. So I know the Steckel one was nasty, but but it was like the next game, the Victor Hedman cross-checked him, and it was not even that dirtiest thing or anything, but it was just like he left the ice or something, and I was like, oh, dude, what the hell? So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't even count the concussions against Crosby. Say he has the concussion problems. Just think about all the time he's missed due to the pandemic and strike-shortened seasons. So he's in the same boat as Ovechkin. He would be sniffing. And I saw the stat. He became the only player to register, I don't know how many points in 19 seasons. It's him and Gretzky. So, like, he's going to go down as the greatest player of our generation. Like, I hate Pittsburgh, but, like, I could still admit.
I respect it, Jeremiah. I know that's
Crosby's great. I didn't hate the Cavs game tonight. If you were listening to us yesterday, John, I
was like suffocating when he was saying that. Crosby's great. Great.
No, Pittsburgh. I picked Pittsburgh to win tonight. Did I not, guys? Did I have the Penguins? I said the Penguins.
We both did.
Perlo, you've been hitting your picks, man.
Not too bad. This hasn't been my best year, but it's been a tough year. I've learned a lot.
He's too modest.
He was up like 120 units at one point.
Yeah.
And then I went on vacation, and he's like, "No, I'm like even." It's like, what happened?
Also, Perlo,
huge, dude. It's been
Perlo,
a tough
admit it or
year.
not, I think Rico makes you a better bettor too, man.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that.
Even.
They feed off each other.
Is my Yoda. Rico is my Yoda.
Yeah, Rico's like on his shoulder. No,
Pearl calls me like midday, man. I'm doing my like in-house seedlings, my plants for my garden. I'm doing my in-house gardening today and stuff. And all of a sudden, I see my phone's ringing. It's like Pearl at like 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, Rico, what are you growing over there?
You growing some weed? You growing some weed at Casa de Miran?
No, dude, I'm growing a whole bunch of stuff here. No, No weedlings though. You know when I'll start growing weed is when Beard just confirmed last night's show at the Leafs make the Stanley Cup Finals. He's flying to Toronto. We're going to Hoop Sports Bar.
Yeah, dude. Hey, we're staying at your house, Hot Take, because Rico lives all the way in Barrie. We'll do live shows from Toronto, and I'll try to get us tickets, but that's probably a bridge too far.
If the Leafs make the Cup final, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm coming to Toronto, and I'll be there. I'll stay for the parade when they win it. We were talking about how cool it would be. I'll come. So we could do the same thing with Pearlo and Edmonton, but we may have to rent a place.
Man, I don't even want to talk about that because it's a scary reality. If the Leafs ever make the final, regardless, like win or lose, the city's going to shut down. And I don't want to talk about the what's there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. For sure. Look what the Raptors did, man. Look what the Raptors parade looked like. Imagine what the
I think it's going to make the Raptors parade look like a joke.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know, man. That Leaf parade
hard to get bigger than the Raptors parade, you think?
What Jeremiah is saying, like the Raptors parade was pretty nuts, but I think the Leafs would be ×5 probably, no?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure about that. Because the Raptors parade was the Raptors are the whole country.
Sorry. We gotta adjust this. Rico, are we talking about the parade that happened like days after, or are we talking about the celebration the night after? Like the night of, I mean.
Oh, I'm talking about
I'm talking about the parade when like Gasol was drinking wine bottles.
Okay. I mean, I don't agree with the parade, but Jeremiah, the night of the Raptors win, the city shut down and went like berserk. Okay, when you're talking about that, the Leafs will be ×5 that, but the parade, the Raptors parade was nuts.
Because the parade will probably be the same size.
Yeah, the parade will be similar because they had days, and like I heard of so many people that flew in like the day after and shit like that. Like the Leafs celebration, like the city almost shut down after the Leafs won a first round. That's sad. Imagine they won a fucking cup.
Hey, John. They could start the parade in Sudbury and people be lined up the whole way, I bet you. The whole way there. All 4 hours. People just standing on the road. Leafs, because Leaf fans are everywhere, right? There are a ton of them in the States, man. I went to playoff Tampa games and there was this kid, he's a little scrawny kid. His parents, he's wearing a Gilmore. I was like, sick Gilmore. And he's like, yeah. I go, where are you guys from? They're like, oh, we're from Ontario. We live here now. Like, we didn't like the rules of the pandemic, so we moved out. We live in Florida now. I was like, oh, well, yeah, Florida didn't have any rules. So
yeah, you're right, though. If the Leafs win the cup, as soon as that horn goes, people aren't going to go to work for a week. And then the people that are going to go to Stanley Cup parade are just not even going to want to go near there because it's just going to be so packed. And
Canada's GNP will go down like 20% because everybody stopped working for like a week.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Like the Rangers, the guy, now I can die in peace. All the Leaf fans would be like, oh, no, I can die in peace. I'm telling you, John, I said this to Rico. I think the Maple Leafs really remind me of the 2018 Caps. Nobody's saying they have a chance. Everybody's like not talking about them, but they beat some really good teams this year. And I wanted to ask you, because we were talking about this before you popped on, I have not noticed them lay as many stinkers against bottom feeders this year. That they feel like they've been better against the bad teams. You know how they always shit the bed against Anaheim or Phoenix or somebody.
You are this year, I feel like they've dominated where they're supposed to dominate.
Yeah, which is a good sign. Like I feel like they're in the right spot. I like the mental makeup of this team finally. Like I really do.
I mean, I'll say this on all of the shit talking I've been saying after yesterday's game. It's like, yeah, I mean, you are without a top 5 right winger in the league. And you're without, like you said, I think people are going to start realizing very quickly how valuable Edmondson's to this team, like very quickly.
Well, and Riley just getting back, he's not in game shape. He wasn't himself.
No.
Honestly, I was surprised he played. I thought they would hold him out even longer.
Man, Jeremiah, I called him up. I told him I'd be in the building, so he had to suit up.
Oh, you were at the game?
Yeah, I was at the game.
Oh, you went to the game and then got smoked. Damn. Yeah, but you know what? I was saying before you popped on too, I think the Leafs play the Lightning. Those are tough games. Those are never easy games. Like in the playoffs, I definitely felt like the Leafs got outplayed, and it felt like the Leafs won that series in 5? It was 6 though. They won it, right? And I still remember your reaction because I was actually back in Alaska for it. but you were like, we won a round. Like you were almost befuddled by it. Like you didn't know how to feel.
No. And again, I said after, I was like, I thought that was even embarrassing, but you know what? It's like, it's just, you didn't know how it felt. And now we kind of, it's like the Panthers. It was like the Panthers too, right? Like the year before they got that taste, and then they go on the Stanley Cup final run. And I mean, you know what? Call it whatever you think, but like if Tkachuk's healthy, if all these guys are healthy against Vegas last year, you never know, right? Like I think Vegas was the team to beat, but at the end of the day, Florida had like 3 or 4 guys that weren't healthy last year. I think it's just always that taste. So what you're saying about the 2018 Caps, I mean, the Caps constantly got that taste. They kept getting knocked out by Pittsburgh. Yeah. And finally, it just took like.
Or the Rangers. I mean, I think they only lost to Pittsburgh like 3 times during that whole run. But like, the Rangers. Every time I thought we had a team, the Rangers win. They go on. They don't really put up a fight against the Kings. I thought we would have gave the Kings a lot of problems. And just sometimes you got to capitalize on your moments. It's all about matchups. And I think, like the Leafs are going to have a tough first round, but that might be the best thing for them. And then after that, you just don't know. Like I said, I think people are sleeping on them. I would not be surprised if they are better. They could make the conference finals or the finals, and I wouldn't be shocked. I think if they could stay healthy, and like I said, if Keefe doesn't tinker with the lines too much, like that was something they talked about last year where Maurice rolled 4 lines the whole playoffs, never changed, or 5 lines like total. And Keefe in that series against Florida ran like 43 different line combinations. Like at some point, dude, you just need to let the guys play and stop tinkering. And Pearlo hates Keefe. I know you're not Keefe number 1, but I actually liked how he's handled the team a little bit this year.
Actually, you've got to remember, I said that the end of the year after that Riley incident, I started having a lot more respect for Keefe.
Well, I mean, he had nothing to do with that. He handled it right.
Yeah. So I'm not totally as down on Keefe as I was, because I thought after that Riley incident, I liked a lot of the stuff Keefe was doing. So, So, and it's just me. Who am I? I'm just freaking Pearlo. Like, who gives a shit?
You're Pearlo the Great, though.
But I did. I like that. I like that you didn't see too much passion out of Keefe too much. But after that Riley incident, Keefe seemed to just freaking lose it. He changed. I think he just got really angry that why would Riley have to do that, boys? Why? Because none of you are doing it. That's why. That's why Riley had to do it. Because none of you are doing it. Not a single.
No, I loved it. I loved it from Riley. I didn't know it was a thing. Like when Hot Take and I talked about this, I was like, okay, like this is the thing. And I didn't know Ridley Gregg was kind of one of those scumbags on the ice too, like a Marchand-esque type guy, which makes me like him even more, honestly. I didn't realize that was a thing. Like if you just went whack, I feel like I've seen guys do that a lot. I guess a lot of times after the other team scores, the other guy will whack the puck because he's all mad or something. I saw that tonight in the Minnesota game. But
well, yeah, I mean, I gotta log off here in a sec, but I was just gonna say, Jeremiah, the thing that I think drives players the most nuts is if less about the empty net, more of that if their goalie's in the net and it's after the whistle and you fire that net. That's the thing that makes players.
I've seen that, but I've never seen the empty net slap shot thing draw the ire of another player.
Well, I don't think that happens at all ever, though. That's why it was like uncharted territory. When do you see a guy taking a slap shot 5 feet away from the? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen it because
I don't know if I've ever seen it either. Yeah,
I had one of my buddies over, and he literally was like, he looked at me like in shock. He's not even a big Leaf fan. He's like, I don't think I've ever seen a guy take a slap shot practically in the crease before.
Yeah,
so it was one of those things like you just didn't expect it.
I've seen it, and Riley's reaction was over the top, but it was over the top because nobody on that team has been willing to back up anybody all freaking year. In fact,
why did Kaffer get suspended back-to-back playoffs? Why did Bunting get suspended in the playoffs? Like the Leafs bring in one guy that like it's just like the rest 90% of the team won't do those things. So then the one guy steps up feeling like he has to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Kadri was the same. Same with Kadri.
I'm taking care of it. Riley should be taking care of that stuff. Like,
I liked it though. I love what Hot Take is live tweeting. Vinny, log off. Biggest joke tweet I've ever seen. Clueless.
Bro, someone just sent me that. Like, I was like just chilling, and then my night just got ruined when someone just sent me that tweet.
Yeah, so this guy is holding the group back. Tree Living really needs to look at this guy and somehow either trade him or strip that A off his jersey. Talking about Morgan Riley. He has been a part of every failure that group has gone through. Leaf forever from Vinny. Anyway, this was from yesterday. Anyway, I have to say this though. I'm not shitting on Riley. I thought he was spectacular in the postseason last year for definitely the Leafs' best player against Tampa Bay in the first round. You somehow do play really well with him out of the lineup, though. That to me always baffles me. Like, I know you love the guy, but it is weird that you guys play. I don't know if it's just that the guys step up because he's not there and they know he's
okay. But Jeremiah, can I give you a fun fact?
I know they're better with him in the lineup, John.
No.
Yeah.
I'll give you a record. You know what the Leafs record without Matthews is?
Is it really good too? That
35, 19, and 2.
What is it without Marner?
That's the only record where it's close to 500 or negative without Marner in the lineup.
Okay.
They only have like 3 more wins without Riley than.
Do you think with Matthews out of the lineup, it just lets guys know? I feel like I see the same thing with Ovechkin.
Marner lights up when Matthews is out.
You think they're forcing it to him so much where guys are just shooting? They're not thinking about it as much when he's out of the lineup, and it just simplifies their game in some way. And it's not that they're a better team with Matthews out of the lineup. It's just more the guys are like, well, any of us could score because it's not like Austin's not here. Like they might just lean on him a little too much.
I mean, for the Rico and Pearlo bets, like if Matthews is out of the lineup, you're most likely hammering down on Nylander or Marner anytime goal. Like that's especially Marner. Marner always rips it up when Matthews is out, which is ironic because he's always feeding it to Matthews. But I mean that, and I was also going to say, fun fact. I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure I validated this like a couple months ago. Marner has 0 goals in Game 5, 6, and 7s.
Yeah, I know he's not done much in the playoffs and clutch times for you guys, and you need that.
Rico, think about all our Leaf disappointments over the playoffs since the Marner Matthews era. I'll validate it again, but I don't think Marner has a single goal in a Game 5, 6, or 7. He had the goal in Game 4 last year against Florida, but no Game 5, 6, or 7.
Well, they called him scared a lot of times. Like diehard Leaf fans are like, he doesn't show up. He's scared. He's getting bullied around there on the ice. He's always been one of the smaller guys, but. Hey, I mean, you hopefully grow into your own body and you grow into a playoff player, but he's a smaller guy, and then the ice gets smaller, things get tighter in the playoffs, and the stage gets bigger, and I mean it's one of those things where people harp on Nylander, but he scored some big goals in the playoffs last year for us too. So as lazy as Nylander is. He's scored some beauties for us, and Marner hasn't showed up, and he's the next one up for a contract. So that's going to be the next big debate in Toronto as well too. If you keep turning this over and going into these playoffs, and results are going to determine what the Leafs do moving forward. And Tree Living's there. There's a new guy behind there. There's no more.
I could see him moving Marner. I could see him moving Marner. I'll take him. I like him, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's a good. But you know what I'd say? I would like the guy on my team. I like him. I think he's a great player. He might not be an $11 million a year player.
Yeah, just don't send Sandin back, okay?
Yeah, he's been okay this year. He's been banged up a bit, but he's been okay. He's had some bad turnover games. He does a little toe driggy move where he loses the puck pretty regularly.
Well, he better figure it out because he's making good money there for a little while.
So besides the Battle of Alberta, let's finish up the games. John, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to log off because I got to hit the hay, but I appreciate you guys, and I'll be
good talking to you, John. Awesome, man.
Yeah, boys, have a good night. Talk
Yeah,
soon.
thanks for coming on, my brother. Appreciate you. It's good to talk to you and see you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm glad Rico got him clued in on our plan to go invade his house when the Leafs win the Stanley Cup. We're sleeping on the floor, but we're gonna do live shows from the Toronto parade and stuff. I hope it happens, man. That'll be so cool. And I'll drive there if I have to. I don't think it'll be a problem. I enjoyed my time in Toronto a lot, and I will be back. I'm trying to go to the Hall of Fame again next year.
Gina just got rocked in LA. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, that's a big hit. Okay, Oilers Flames. I don't see how the Oilers lose this game, even if they're coming off 2 straight losses. If they lose the Colorado game, I don't know. What do you think, Pearlo?
Yeah, well, we don't. You might as well not even ask me about the Calgary Flames. So just move on.
Yeah. Okay. Rico, do you want to spend any time talking about this game, or are you on Edmonton all day?
Yeah, not really. Good to take the Oilers there.
All right. The final game of Saturday night. Again, I'm going to watch like a few of these games, but WrestleMania's on. So, like, Kings Canucks is a good game, though. That's the final game of the night. Hopefully, WrestleMania is over. That's a 10 p.m. puck drop. What do you think? Dude, Kings beat the Canucks the last time they played them. This is in LA. I haven't liked what I've seen from the Canucks. Obviously, they need Demko back in a bad way. And just DeSmith is carrying too much of the load. And they must not have a decent third goalie. So,
well, isn't Seeloff's in Vancouver? I mean, he's been playing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, 4 games in 6 nights for the Kings. Give me the Canucks. They got like 3 days here to figure their shit out. They're going to beat LA in this game. I'll take Vancouver on the road there.
Okay. All right, let's jump over to Sunday and pick out a couple games there that are good. Capitals playing the Senators. That's a significant game for the Caps. Red Wings Sabres, another significant game for those two teams. Really, the only game I want to talk to you guys about on that day is Stars Avalanche. What do you think? That's going to be a good one in Colorado.
That's the first game back from a road trip, right, Rico?
So Hot Take says, yeah, Rico stepped away. Hold on a second. Hot Take says, correction on the Marner stat. I was close. Game 5, 0 goals and 4 assists. Game 6s and 7s, 1 goal and 1 assist. Game 6 games. Game 7, 0 goals and 2 assists in 4 games. So Marner not doing a lot. I mean, you didn't have to have a hat trick or anything, but the other thing is if you're not getting to a lot of those games, but yeah, I'm rooting for the kid. Let's see. Hopefully he comes back with a vengeance. He's missed a lot of time. So yeah, Avalanche Stars. Rico will be with us in a minute. Pearlo, what do you got?
Oh, yeah, Stars coming off that big win against Edmonton. Avalanche are coming off an Eastern road trip. This is going to be a tough one. Really tough. The Avalanche had a bad road trip, though. I think they were looking forward to this one. I'm going to take the Avs.
Yeah, Rico, what do you think here? Stars Avalanche.
Where is it, in Dallas?
Dallas 8. No, it's in Colorado, but Dallas 8 straight.
Yeah. Yeah, I think divisional game. Dallas is chasing them. I think Dallas has more motivation in this game, so I'll take Dallas at home there. They'll match up well. They'll sick Tanev on McKinnon and Rantanen and try to slow them down to maybe 1 or 2 points a game.
All right, well, guys, that's the show. Let's give us the final thoughts. 2 hours tonight. Thanks for Hot Take Hockey popping in and all the craziness that happened at the beginning of the show where Rico and I could not stop laughing for 5 minutes. So,
Jesus, Pearlo is like the pimp of the show, man.
Yeah. All right.
That's why I didn't laugh.
Pearlo, give us your final thoughts.
Because it wasn't anything new. Everybody knew,
Yeah, but that Libby girl went from from Rico to you, so that was interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, Pearlo's the pimp daddy. The girls see the piano, all the
Exactly.
home wreckers.
Speaking facts, right? Like I got to beat them off all the time. Like,
okay, is that your final thought then? Okay, go ahead,
That's my
Rico.
final
On the show.
Yeah, I know.
Rico.
My final thoughts is the Jets clinch the playoffs tonight, so I just want them to play up to their potential and get their lineup healthy. I want Connor to get going. I want Hellebuck to be the Vezina goalie he is, and make the playoffs even spicier in the West because it's stacked from top to bottom. So those are my final thoughts. Congrats on the Jets getting into the playoffs officially.
Yeah, rock on.
I got one more quick
peace.
final thought. I think Sealoss for Vancouver, they've got a gem. They've got an absolute freaking gem, and I don't know what they're going to do at Demko, but that kid is freaking going to be unbelievable. So that's my final thought.
All right, cool. All right, everybody, thanks. We'll be back Monday. Appreciate you. WrestleMania this weekend.
Does
Go
Cody
Cody
Rhodes win? Does Cody Rhodes get the title?
I think Cody wins. We'll see. All right, we'll see. We'll talk about it Monday.